Hi everybody, I'm Alyce-Kay Reckelhaus from Threshold of Hineni and the Widow Reckelhaus, and I'm getting ready to do my first journal on this new channel. I'm really excited. Okay, so it's September. It's actually close to the middle of September, and I'm not quite ready for dark colors. I know I should be doing something for fall or even Christmas at this point, but I just cleaned up, well, I'm still in the process of cleaning up my craft room, and I ran across a whole bunch of these paper pads, and this is the one that just really spoke to me. So we're going to do bright colors because we're just going to pretend like it's still going to be summer for a while. That's just how I am. And you know what? I use summery papers for journals that I use in the winter, and I use darker papers in the summer, and you know, I don't really pay attention to that, but I know some people do. So this is the pad of paper that I've chosen. It's called Modern Millinery, and it's by Colorbach. I'm pretty sure I got this at Walmart, probably for $5 a couple years ago. I don't know how much they are now. These are 12 by 12 inches, and they are double-sided, which I really, really love. Well, some of them are. Some of them aren't. Wow. Okay, most of them are double-sided, like that. Okay, but some of them apparently are white. Oh no, I see. They've got something here. All right, so they're not actually white. It's just that I didn't see that. Okay, so anyway, this is really cool. There are 50 unique designs, 50 sheets, which means there's 25 sheets that are unique. You know, they've got two sides on them. So some things have two of each, some things might have a little bit more, I'm not sure. But anyway, so the hard thing, probably the hardest part of this whole journal, is going to be going through and deciding which of these pages I want. But before we start looking at pages, I just want to show you the fabrics that I chose from my supplies. I've got this nice green, I've got this yellow that I actually got for curtains in my kitchen, but I won't be using that much of it, so I should be fine. And then I've got this pink that I think is really pretty. So I used this for a friend's wedding album. It was a junk journal wedding album. Okay, and you know, the people at her wedding signed the cards that were in it and tags and stuff, so that was really fun. They wrote blessings and stuff. So anyway, so we're going to go through. We are going to choose 13 of these sheets of paper. Okay, so normally I do 15 pages, 15 sheets, which makes, you know, double that because they're each half, so that's 30, and then both sides, so that makes 60 pages. But I want to add a couple more pages that aren't from here, and if I do more than 15 sheets, then it just gets to be too thick, and it's unwieldy and difficult to bind and everything. So we're going to go through and we're going to go ahead and choose 13 sheets from here, and we're going to get those ready. Okay, so here's kind of like what I'm planning is to select papers and prep and choose the fabric. That's today. The next time I'll teach you some master boards. We'll work on some master boards for it. We'll put lace on some of the pages. I might make a Franken-roll. I'm not sure. Since I'm doing the master boards, I don't really need to, but I really like having a thin roll, so I probably won't make a big one, but I might make one. Work on some belly bands, vertical, horizontal, and diagonal, some envelopes, corner text, Rita Donnelly flips, or maybe even some faux Rita Donnelly flips, some flip-flops going different directions, some shareables, some different types of pockets, flip-out sheets, buttons and fabric, inner and side texts, do the cover and the inner pockets, any other decor that we want to do, bind it, make some notebooks to go into it, make decorated folded papers, tags and cards, use some greeting note cards to fill in, and some M&M cards, and then we should be done. So that's what I've got planned. I never stick to my plan, you guys, but that's kind of what I'm looking towards. Okay, so today let's go ahead and pick out our 13 sheets, and if we have time, we can cut those and get them ready to use. So I like this one. That's really pretty. Let's choose this, and I may pull out, ooh, this is really thick paper. It's kind of heavy. Wow, nice. Okay, so I may pull out more than 13 and then have to go back and decide what I'm actually going to use. I like the graph paper on it. I'm not sure if I like this. That has a lot going on. I do like it as far as paper goes. Okay, so let's use this pink with this background. That's really cool. Okay, so we may need to use some, because we do want to have some green. I'm going to set these aside so that they're out of our way. We'll that green's pretty, but I don't really, yeah, I don't know, that doesn't work well in a junk journal. It might work like if I was making a paper from this, but I kind of don't think I'm going to do that. I am going to use this green. I just think that's really pretty. Okay, so we've got 3. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? I just pulled it open in the middle. Okay, so we've got this. Ooh. So here's the same as this green, kind of. I mean, it's the same idea. And then it's got the graph paper on the back. I kind of like that. I really like the idea of having graph paper in this as some of the pages. So I think we're going to do that. This is a little, yeah, that's a little big, I think. Let's see, here's some more of this. Here's the orange that we already got. Here's some more orange. Might use that more for like tags or something. This is seriously, you guys, this is thick enough for tags. Okay, here's one that I like. They've got this theme going through where they've got like a lace page and then on the back of it is, you know, something smaller. That's interesting. Dance as if no one is looking, but see, that's like too big to have on a page. Always believe that something wonderful is about to happen. I like that too, but it's too big to go on the page. How big is it? Let's see, you guys. Just the design itself. If I had a page made from that, yeah, if I included the flower, it would be 10 inches. I could do a 9-inch page and this would be on the side. No, but then we would have the flower hanging. Oh, that just doesn't work. Nope, not doing that. Okay. So I'm starting to think this pad is really more for scrapbooking, but it's still really pretty and we can definitely get 13 pages from it that we like. I like this. Okay, so it's Millinery. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Is that pretty? Okay, how about this dress form? Yeah, that comes out to more than 10 inches, so I really can't use that unless I use it as kind of a fold out, which would be a possibility. Oh, but here. Oh, yeah, that's really cool. I like that. I like the polka dots. Oh my gosh. Okay, so how many do we have so far? Let's check and see before we tear out more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we're fine. We can still choose 6 more. Okay. Okay, I like this. I don't want to do too much with black and white, so that would remind me that's the last black and white page. That's 7. That's 8. Okay. This would be nice, just for just a little bit more of a plain page. 9. Oh, I like that. 10. Ooh, yeah. We're gonna have a lot of pink in here, you guys. 11, no more pink. No more pink. 11. Oh, I like this though. Alright, so we're gonna make this one 11 and I'm gonna take away one of the other pinks. So that's 11. I think we could use more orange and green. Ooh. Nope. Well, that's okay. Okay, let's say 12. And I don't know, what do you guys think? I think so. 13. Let me see if I can just find another orange. If there's more orange that we haven't used, I think we already got these, right? So this is where I start second guessing myself. Go back in here, and do we have those? We do not have these green polka dots. We need those. Oh, I see, it's because of this. But we can cut that off and just have this as a blank page that we decorate. I think I'd rather have this. Okay, let's see if there's any more orange that we didn't choose. Did we get this orange one? We must have, because there's only one. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at what we have. And I think I have to put back one of the pink ones. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so these two, because they were kind of questionable to begin with, those are extras. Okay, and we can use those in our master board. Okay, so these are the pages that we're going to use. We're not going to use them at this size. I need to turn them all so that they have, see this little dotted part here? On some of them it's a little bit harder to find, but it is on every page. There we go. And we want to have them all going the same direction because this is extra that we're going to trim off. Okay, so let me just talk to you while I'm doing this. One thing while I'm trying to decide on pages, and actually while I do a lot of making a junk journal, is I try not to overthink it. You know, I was measuring some of those parts that bordered on overthinking, but you know, I did have to know whether or not they would fit. But I try not to think. I try to just allow the right side of my brain, I'm pretty sure that's the artistic side, whichever side is the artistic side, that's the one that I'm trying to allow to have free reign. And if I start thinking about it too much and get analytical, then I get into the left side of my brain, and that doesn't work as well artistically. So where is the little dotted line on this one? Is that it? Yeah, there it is. So you don't want to overthink things. Try to just let your gut rule, and you'll find, oh my word, things just look so much nicer and they come out better when you allow that. Here we go. Okay, so do you see how, like, where's the black line on this one? Okay, so see how I've got the black line here and I've got this black line here. If I put these so the black line isn't at the same place, then see how much bigger this is? That's because that black line part has to be cut off, because it's the part that you're tearing out from the book, and sometimes it tears, so they give you a little bit of extra space, but then you have to cut it off. And then I use the parts that I cut off, I use those in my Franken paper. Okay, so I think we're going to do we're going to leave the full width after the edges are cut off, but we're going to make them, what do we do, like 6 inches high, I think, or 9 inches tall. Here's, here we go. Here's the book that I just did. Let's look at the size. I think it's 9 inches tall that I usually go with. So it's going to be 6 inches wide because, 6 inches wide because it's a 12 by 12 pad. So we're folding the 12 inches in half, but we're going to make it 9 inches tall. So we're going to go ahead and cut these. We can cut 2 at a time. This is kind of thick paper, so we'll see how that works. This is my all-in-one from We Are Memory Makers, or We Are Memory Keepers, I think is what they're called. And I love this. It does everything. It trims, and I think that there's a replacement blade, but I've had this for a couple of years and I'm not anywhere close to needing a replacement. It has a little thing for stamping that goes right here, a clear thing, and you can stamp on there, and these are like spring-loaded. There's a hole punch, a corner punch, envelope thing for the inside of the envelope. There are, okay, so then there's this thing here that you can use for making your tags. You take it and put it on the other side and use it for tags. There's magnets here to hold things in place. There's these things that you can put on to make bows and stuff, and then a bone thing. This does, I think it's like 14 different things. I love it. I highly, highly recommend it, and I will tag it below. Ooh, assuming that they still make it. I got it 2 years ago, so they might not, but gosh, I hope they do because it's really good. Really, really like this. Okay, so you don't have to be like super exact on cutting this. You just want to make sure that it's straight and even, but your pages don't all need to be exactly the same width. And part of that is because we're going to put lace on some of them. I'm going to do this again because this is thick paper. Yeah, it did go through. Okay, and then I set this aside for my, let me get a bin here. I put it in one of these things. I set it aside for my Franken paper. So I'm just going to tear that in half because it's too long for the thing. Okay, and then I'm putting my papers aside over here that we've already cut. We're going to trim some more off of these ones. So we're just sticking it in here. And there's an arm that comes out here to make it wider if I wanted to measure, but I don't really need to, so just not worrying about that. Okay, this is nice thick paper. I really, really am happy with that. Okay. And then 2 more pages. I like this. I think that's my favorite paper out of this whole thing. That's really cool. So I feel like it's almost fall. It's not cold here at all. It's been getting down into the 60s at night. For a few days it got down to the 50s at night. That was so cool. And so my house, I have not used the full house air conditioner all summer. I've just used the air conditioner here in my craft room in my office. And so the house itself got up into the 80s at one point. And it was like 90 something outside. I don't think we got into the hundreds at all this year, which is, you know, pretty normal for East Tennessee. Sometimes we'll get like maybe 3 days of over 100 and it'll be really humid, so it'll be like horrible. But this year I don't think that we got up into the hundreds. I think we got into like the mid to low 90s was all. So it's been really a nice year. But now it's like 80s, but it's not humid, and so it's just really, really nice. I really, really like it. I don't like weather that's too warm. In fact, when Bill was alive, you know, we never had any arguments, but the closest that we came to an argument was in the winter when he would be cold and he'd turn up the heater, and I'd be so hot and I'm wearing just like shorts and a tank top, and I'm all like, honey, I can't, you know, get down to less than what I'm already wearing. And you go, yeah, you can. But I would say, you know, you're a sweater maker. Because he was. That was what he did for a living, was he made sweaters. And I'm like, you've got so many sweaters. Put on a sweater. And he'd have on a flannel shirt, you know. But still, he was cold and I was really hot. So, yeah. So that was like the closest that we ever got to having an argument. But even then we didn't argue. I think that's one of the nice things about getting married when you're older, is you kind of have more perspective on what's worth fighting over. Okay, so now we're going to cut off the top parts. We've got to decide on our orientation. Like for example, do we want this to go this way or do we want it to go this way? And I'm looking at the back too. Well, I want to have the lace on both sides. So we're going to go this way. We're going to cut off the top there. And this is 12 inches and we want it to be 9. So we're going to cut off 3 inches. Let's see, yeah, that's going to be the easiest way, is to cut off 3 inches. So I'm going to turn the cutting thing around. Okay, so that I have plenty of room over here for my 9 inches of paper to stick off. And just trim off 3 inches. I'm doing that right? Yep. Wait a second. Nope. Okay, so what I'm doing is, wait, how am I doing this? Okay, so I want this to be on both sides, so I'm going to cut off, yeah, I'm going to cut off 3 inches from the top. Okay, let's put it this way so we don't get confused. Okay, so I put 3 inches through here because this is what I'm cutting off. And I'm going to set that aside. What I cut off is going to be set aside to use on the master boards or for pockets and other goodies. So I've got a shelf up there that I'm putting it on. Okay, so let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah. Yeah, so that'll fold that way. I don't know if you guys can hear the church bells or not, but okay, do I want this? I think I want it to go this way so that it's easy to write on. Okay, so we're going to cut off 3 inches from the top here. So here in Sweetwater, every hour, starting at like 8 o'clock until I think 8 p.m., 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 p.m., the church bells go off, you know, every 15 minutes, like Big Ben, you know, bum, 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 that kind of thing. And then on the hour, it plays, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes of hymns. So this doesn't matter. This is like anti-directional. It goes the same either way. Yeah, so it's really pretty. And you can hear them all over town. I have a friend who used to live a mile away from me. The church bells are like almost right across the street from me. But she lived about a mile away, and you could hear the church bells perfectly. I think pretty much any place in town, because it's not a big town. Now this, we want it to go right side up, right? Okay, so we're going to cut off our 3 inches here. So you can hear it any place in town, and you can tell what time it is because of how many times it rings. So it's just really, it's nice. It's a quaint little addition to the town. And then if you go downtown, which is just, you know, one street and it's just a few blocks, but it's got a lot of like antique shops and other really cool shops. If you go downtown, then you'll they play songs from like, I don't know, anywhere from the 40s to the 90s probably. For most of the day, they blast them out of the gazebo speaker. So you go down there and you almost always feel like you should dance. Grab a partner and dance. It's really funny. But it's a really quaint little town. I moved here in 2003, and then I moved, oh, I like that with the patterns and stuff. Ooh, which side do I like the most? I don't know. And does this go which direction? Okay. Moved here in 2003, and then in 2009, I think it was, I moved up to Minnesota for 5 years, lived in 2 different parts of Minnesota, and then married Bill and moved to Maryland where his house was, and then we moved back down here in 2017 and bought a house up in the mountains, and then he was killed in a car accident in 2019. So I've been by myself for 2 years now, which is I'm getting better, but it has been very, very hard because we were very much in love and we had a wonderful marriage, just like a fairy tale marriage. And yeah, so anyway, so now I'm alone here, and I sold the house up in the mountains. It sold 3 hours after my realtor put it on the market, which was a little fast for me. I thought I would have time to adjust, but oh well. Yeah, so let's do this way. So anyway, yeah, so the downtown is really, really cute. Look up Sweetwater, Tennessee, and you can see online what it looks like. And they're thinking about doing a Hallmark movie here. So that would be really, really cool, I think. I think I want this to go up and down. That would be really fun to have. Our town is really perfect for it. And during the 2017, what do you call it? Eclipse, total eclipse of the sun, we had totality here. So that was a really big deal. In fact, we moved down here just in time for that because we were slowly moving down here, and Bill really wanted to see the eclipse, so he was going to come down by himself, and I kind of wanted to see it, but I wasn't like real huge on it. And I said, you know what, why don't we just go ahead and move all of our stuff down and just go ahead and be there then. And so we did. We moved like 2 or 3 days before the eclipse. And you know what, I'm so glad because the eclipse was really cool. I cried all the way through it. I'm so emotional. I get it from my dad, not my mom. My mom's not very emotional. My dad will cry at mall openings, and he doesn't really like malls, but that's just kind of how we are. We'll cry at anything. Star Spangled Banner, we're bawling our eyes out. It's just how we are. I think my brother might get a little emotional too. Okay. And I think I've got one more, yep. I don't know, I think this one's my favorite. Oh look, these are both the same design. That's cool. Very cool. Okay, so this, yeah, it just goes the same no matter what. Okay, so see how easy that is? Just, you know, cut off 3 inches, trim off 3 inches at the top. You don't have to be following the same measurements that I am, but like if this is your first journal, then I would recommend following the same thing I am. When I first started out, I watched a whole bunch of videos. Like every night, I'd watch 1 or 2 videos in bed. My husband would pretend like he was reading, but I would look over and I'd see him watching the videos too. And you know, just to get like an idea. And then I watched a whole series that Gail Augustinelli had for she did like every step through, kind of like what I'm doing. And I watched each video, and then I turned it back on and I followed along with her, and I stopped it whenever I needed more time. And that's what I would really recommend doing for the first time that you're doing a junk journal. Ooh, I was just looking at this. That would be really pretty thread, one of those. Okay, so I think we're going to do that. That's one of the things that I do, is choose out my threads. That's pretty too. Choose out my threads while I'm picking my papers. Choose my thread, my papers, and my fabric. Okay, so now we're going to fold these in half, and then we're going to decide what the order is going to be for them. So as I'm folding, and I'm just folding them like exactly in half, as I'm folding, I'm looking at them and kind of deciding like what would I like to have together. Like I think that's really cool together, those 2 designs. So I'm going to have those together, and I'll fold, and then I'll like put those in order. See like this, I mean, it's okay with that, but I don't really like that color combination, so we'll look for something else to go up against this. Oh, like this right here. So that's pretty. That'll go up against this, and then we've got the orange that will look for something that goes well with the orange. Okay. And I'm not quite sure where I'm going to have my other pages that I'm going to stick in here. I think we're probably going to do a fabric page. If you're a beginner, if this is your first, I don't recommend doing the fabric page. It's kind of hard. You can just skip that part. But I think I probably will do a fabric page for this one. Okay, so this looks nice together. Let's do that. But you know, it's really easy to just skip a page. If there's something that you don't want to do, just don't do it. And that's fine. So then in that case, you might want to choose an extra paper page. Okay, now what looks good with the beige? I think we're going to go for one of the black and whites. Okay, so this one has a little bit of a green tinge to it, so that'll be good to move into the green. So let's choose a different one of the black and whites that we've got here. Which one looks better? I think this. I think that looks good. Okay. Oh yeah, and then these two obviously look really good together. Okay, so here there's a little bit of an ink problem. Do you see that? So we'll just make sure that we put like a corner flip or something right there. It's not a problem. Yeah, that looks nice. And then these, I think those look good together. Or what's here? Maybe this, actually. Yeah, let's do that. And I don't necessarily keep like pages together. In fact, you know what, since this has some greenish tinge there, let's go ahead and put this one next to it. I think that looks better, don't you? And you know, you're not binding it right away, so you have freedom to change your mind of where you want things. So keep that in mind. You know, don't worry too much about it. Don't get all freaked out about, you know, keeping the same things together or anything like that. I'm thinking with this green that this would look good. Now, which way do these flowers go? I think they can go either way. It looks like, yeah, it's like they're falling or whatever either way. So we're putting these ones together. And I don't necessarily want to put another pink page next to this one, but I can. Let's just look and see what we've got. And you'll notice the ones in the middle are sticking out more as you get more and more papers. We can trim those off, or we can deal with it with lace. So I usually just deal with it with lace. It's pretty. We don't have any more green, do we? We've just got like pink and black here. I don't know. We may want to move some of this around so we don't end up with just pink and black at the beginning. But for now, this is good. Let's see if we can find another green page to match up with this one here. Is there green someplace towards the middle besides that one? Oh, I have these so much so that they're the way that I like them. What about, oh, the black spots? Yeah, okay, let's do that. That'll be nice. Okay, so we're going to have these small black spots with the big orange ones. Okay. And then this one, let's choose something that will go better with that. So let's do this one with this. Which way does this? I guess it doesn't matter. Okay. That's kind of pretty. That's really nice. Okay, and then that looks good. Then we've just got some pink pages. All right, let's see where we can put these because I don't want all the pink ones together. All right, what do we want to have? That looks pretty. Okay, so let's do this. And we have to decide what we want for the centerfold too. I actually think this one here would be really pretty for the center. Let's see what we have in the center and see if it can go with it. Oh yeah, I like the purple and the pink and the orange, but actually I like this. Okay, so if we have this in the center, then we've got more of a plain page, but we can really decorate it, which would be really fun for the center fold. So see how I don't really think through it a whole lot. I just kind of like, okay, this page I cut a little crooked, but that's okay. We're gonna have stuff that can go with it so it won't show. And then this actually would be a really nice opening page, one or the other. See which one we like better. Okay, do we like this for our first page, or would we like that for sure for our first page? Okay, so there we go. So we've got all of our pages. What else did I have on the list for today? No lace yet. Just select and prep the papers and choose the fabrics. Okay, so we're done. We've got this all done. So this is the first step in what you do. I'm gonna cross this off, you guys. You get a dopamine fix from crossing things off your list. So try to make lists of everything because it'll just make you feel good, you know? It's like eating chocolate. All right, so that's it, you guys. I think this looks really good. I'm really excited about doing this journal. It's just so bright. And, you know, I had a friend die of COVID last week, and it's just been a heavy week. And so I think that's part of why I'm gravitating to these brighter colors. But there's also a little bit of dark stuff in here too. So, yeah, I think this is just going to be such a totally cool journal. Excuse me. I sneeze all the time, you guys. It's not COVID. Don't worry. All right. So next time what we're going to do is we're going to start creating our master boards. Okay. And that might take a couple videos. I'm not sure if we can do that all in one because I like to have like 2 or 3 master boards for it. All right. I love you all. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.